Hello, Tiki Gray here, and we're going to do an analysis of some Pocketbot Cup games I played yesterday. If you don't want any spoilers, you can go ahead and go to Big Pimp Natasha's stream, which is Witty Pun 7, since he did cast the PBC yesterday. And you can see all my games there, if you want. Anyway, let's get started. So Ploob's at a big disadvantage since I was playing him before the PBC and he was running this deck. And I think he beat me like 5 out of 5. But by that point, like by the time he got to the PBC, I was already figuring out all the counters and stuff. Since there's immediate counter ideas came into mind after like the first 2 games, but I had a lot of trouble still actually beating him since he had really good execution. And I misunderstood some things, like how effective the owls would actually be, or how to manage tempo right against his deck. Since I was usually finding that I couldn't get enough owls or just macro, etc. in general before artillery creeps me. You know, just end up ecoing and brute forcing me. Then owls just weren't getting damage done. Yeah, this is a counter deck, so Cypher Balloon stops Fox. It's kind of nice in general. Skunk Snake's just nice combo. Squizzard also just nice utility. The idea is just basically just build owls, so. Snakes are really nice against the camps, and skunks are also really nice against Squizzard. So yeah, I did 7 farm mill, going 2 farms right away. I get really greedy, and I don't know why I build that farm. I should have built this one. So let's look at this disaster happen. And I decided to try to keep it, which I don't know why I tried to keep it. It was so pointless. Since I already had this farm building, and I had these 2 pigs right here, which could have just helped me defend this easily, so. Yeah, that was kind of super awful. Since I can't really afford to lose tempo against Ploob's deck, because if he has any advantage, he can very, very easily get the artillery set up. Like MGs are already hard, are already hard to break through, and if I'm behind in like tempo, it's pretty much impossible. So. Skunk's coming out, just playing aggressively. Well, I was looking for a timing opportunity, I think, since he was lacking units. At least it did seem like he might have been lacking units. He did have to put down the MG, so. Yeah, and here comes artillery, which is very not fun. So I end up taking this mill. And at this point, I'm hoping I can just go owls and like just hold out long enough. And I just have to deny this artillery creep with like, you know, snake folk. Getting out 4 skunks, since 2 skunks is really nothing against this comp. Or Squizzard camp. 4 skunks is actually awesome. Okay, 4 skunks is really nice against Squizzard if you can micro and position correctly. But when cams get in the mix, it becomes much, much more complicated and dangerous for the skunk player. So I'm just trying to deny the artillery creep. Maybe I should have got the balloon 1 tile closer. I think it's still out of range, but if it was 1 tile closer, that would actually really facilitate shooting the tier 1. Since you can see I'm bringing the tier 1 to try to stop my snakes, and like these tier 1 were only like 1 tile out of range when they were up here, so that would have been lots of nice extra damage. Fortunately, this artillery is going to go up. Honestly, I'm thinking I should have put like a sniper balloon. I should have maybe set up sniper balloons when he was building his artillery. Go in. Thanks going after artillery. Yeah, and like, I do kill a lot of tier 1, but I mean, it's not enough. All his camps just run over everything. There's a lot more in eco too. It's just pretty disastrous. Now he's building the fox. I'm going up to 6 skunks. Which, I mean, I'll kill more tier 1, but I'm still gonna lose the fight because of his cams. I mean, I can try kiting or hiding behind the mill. But yeah, no, this is difficult. And just focusing on killing artillery. So the reason I don't I kind of kite with the skunks, but then I kind of give up because they need to stay still. Because if they're moving, they're not shooting, and like they're gonna die anyway. You can't run from lizards. So when you're fighting lizards with skunks and squizzard, 90% of the time, especially well, mainly at the beginning of the fight start, you want to stay in place because like if you try to move, the lizards are just gonna DPS down the skunks really quickly. So stay in place, and even if your skunks die, you're gonna kill all the tier 1 at least, or they might just end up living. Some of them at least. Yeah, obviously this is a disaster. Wait, I actually did end up killing a fox there, which is nice. But yeah, without like a bunch of skunks to hide behind him, I can't do much. He's just so far ahead of Nico, it's pointless. Whoops. Okay, taking a different variation of deck, this time with artillery and wire. Now I think, what defense do I want to use? Well, like, MGs are really, really nice against Squizzard and Cam. But he has artillery, so I can't go MGs, but I do have wire. Which cannot be targeted by artillery, which is really nice. And wire plus skunk. Wire in general is really, really nice against Squizzard. Even cam, because you can shoot the cams while the cams are hitting the wire. But with skunks, like, that will brutalize his comp. Also drop snakes for falcons. I can't remember the specific reasoning here. Well, before I'm pretty sure I was taking the snakes to deal with artillery, and I guess the cams. But if I have my own artillery and wire, like both those, I can deal with enemy artillery and cams, so I don't need the snakes anymore. Just keep the falcons. Falcons are, you know, aerial, so they're not going to be hit by Ploob's artillery, which is nice. And all the other benefits of being able to fly. So yeah, pretty open map and really dense mill map, because when you have artillery, there's two things you want. You want short maps, and you want maps that are really dense with mills, so you can artillery keep really easily and secure a lot of important resources with just one artillery. Because, you know, you go here, artillery here, shuts off this mill, artillery, you basically, I can't take this mill. And like, you can just really easily secure these 2 mills of artillery and deny this one. So I basically have 2 mills at the end of the day, which is 1 less than him. I am opting to do a 4 skunk push here. Or at least I'm going to at some point. Because I don't want the artillery to get set up. And this is actually pretty nice terrain to work with. Since if he wants to set up artillery, like, he has to take this, you know, like, these other ones aren't super good. Well, he has to take one of these 2 mills. And here's the thing, I have lots of cliff I can work around on my skunk. That skunks and skrills just create artificial choke points, which is really nice. So, there's a video I want to make about the rules of thumb for Tooth and Till. Maybe I'll make that today, a short one, with the ones I can think off the top of my mind. But, okay, this isn't really a general rule though, but I've found, okay, do you want Squizzard Skunk or Skrill Skunk? I'm like, well, Squizzard, because lizards do more damage, and they can absorb some toad hits and stop the toads from hitting Skrills, etc. other things. And you might think that, or like Squizzard Skunk versus this Squizzard or Squizzard Cam even. You think you want the lizards, but here's the thing. I found in my experience, it's just so really awkward the micro Squizzard with Skunk that a lot of the times you're honestly just better off with Shrills, since you can position a micro just much more smoothly. Like you can use Squizzard Skunk, and even though it might be better stats wise, it's really awkward on micro. But that's on barbed wire. This is kind of just a forward siege thing. Plus, I'm hoping maybe I can decoy him or deceive him. I mean, so he sells the MG and then rebuilds it, and it doesn't really matter if he has the MG set up in the first place because I'm just gonna kill it right away because he can't run into this. This is a choke point. Like all his stuff is gonna die. So yeah, I'm trying to get set up. Okay, so his cams get caught out, which is not good because there's already a bunch of gas down and the cams already took a lot of damage. So this is a slaughter. He only has 2 cams. It's a choke point. The skills are just so much DPS. Now you might ask, okay, what if he had the MG set up and his cams didn't take damage early? Well, I mean, that's better for him, but honestly, like, I've run this fight really, really hard. So even if those 2 things were going for him, I still would have won the fight at the end of the day, since this choke point is just so nice for me. Okay, so when you're fighting Squizzard, or Squizzard Cam with Skunk, this is mainly for Squizzard, since when the opponent starts getting mass cams, things really start to change up in this dynamic. But let's say if you're fighting Squizzard with like Strill Skunk, or Squizzard Skunk, it's really, really important to have 4 Skunks, because if you have like 2 Skunks, or this also goes against Lizard. So if you have 2 Skunks, like, you're just gonna instantly die to Squizzard or Lizard. If you have 4 Skunks, it works. So you can win a fight, but then you're down to 2 Skunks, and you just, like, die to, like, the next fight, since you never got your Skunks back up due to supply block or overextension, etc. And so I was pushing, since I just won the fight so hard, I knew I would be pretty safe, and now I fall back. I'm just waiting for the Skunk to get out. Playing down at farm. Yeah, the game's super over at this point. Like, he's trying to go Mass Lizard, which isn't a bad idea at all. Although he should be going for the base trade here. That would be a super correct play. Or has been his best play, honestly. And also when you're fighting lizards, you want to be really careful about avoiding base trades. And the reason... So you want to see where the enemy army is, but I didn't need to do that because I knew where his commander was, so I knew he wasn't coming around with his lizards or something. So yeah, just demolish him. So okay, same deck. Not the best map for me since he has an extra mill. Again, it's important to mention that I have a very critical advantage since I'm assuming correctly that he's just gonna play the same deck again, since that's his deck, I guess, right now. He's been running a lot and he wants to try it out, and he told me he wanted to fight other people in the PBC since I already knew what he was running, which is not good for him. Little barbed wire right here. Okay, this barbed wire isn't to stop the lizards itself, because when I'm fighting lizards, when I'm fighting lizards with Shrills, instead of spreading out barbed wire, sometimes I like to make like these little blocks of barbed wire, like 1 by or 2 by 1 or 2 by 2, and I just have the Shrills sit in them, since the lizards can't engage without just dying because there's barbed wire. So I just sit my Shrills in the wire instead of trying to use the wire by itself to stop the lizards. Like, say, even if he has 6 lizards versus 4 Shrills, usually that's winning. And I don't need to put 5 million of wire everywhere. I just need to put like a little wire here, set my skills inside it next to the farms, and I'm good. So I don't need to put like 4 wire here, 4 wire here, 4 nothing. I don't need to do something ridiculous like that. I did cover the back entrance. So yeah, fortunately, I didn't reveal that I had artillery in my deck last game, or that I was willing to play it. Since the idea here is, if I get artillery down, well, he can't artillery creep then. If my artillery's up first, I just kill whatever MG's artillery he builds. Going double skunk now, because I always like pushing with skunks against wizard. And you just want 4 skunks in general. But in this case, I'm looking to do artillery creep. Honestly, I should have engaged here because he only has 6 skrills, 6 lizards, 2 cams, 2 MGs versus 15 skrills, 4 skunks. And here's the funny thing about MGs. They block terrain, which means his units are going to spend maybe only half a second or a third of a second moving around the MGs, but that's still so much time. Or the cams might even take like a second. The point is, it's really awkward to move around these MGs. Even the skrills have to spend more time finding another tile to shoot. Like, MGs are still really good, but I think in this case, I think I could have just won this fight, honestly. Like, I probably come from the north right here, or I'm not sure how I would. I don't know if I want to go directly into it. Yeah, I'd probably come from the north, like right here. Yeah, I'd actually just win this fight. I'm bad. I'm stupid. Can't believe I didn't realize at the time. I was just kind of narrow or tunnel visioned on getting artillery up. So I'm looking to push, but he does get the artillery up. Well, I think I was just looking to actually kill some pigs there. So he loses. So somehow his artillery is in range, which is kind of fucking bullshit. Pretty. I did take more losses there, unfortunately. Artillery keep. So at this point, I'm like, well, fuck. So I decided to go all in on the owls here. But I'm just looking at the map. Like, he has 2 more mills. It's like, I don't know if I can actually get enough. Well, the big issue is I don't have a starvation farm set up. So like, I have less than 5 minutes. He can easily hold out in that amount of time. Well, I guess I do have this mill. So yeah, I guess I do have that mill actually. But I still didn't like my situation. So I go for another idea. I decided to do double artillery. Then I'm gonna leave my base and honestly just go down here and take this 3rd mill, set up wire, and just do a triple owl harass. Sell off all the skrills since I don't need them. He doesn't have any air units, so. Probably really want. Well, sometimes you want to go up to 6 skunks against Mask Wizard or Mass Tier 1 in general. Down under Owl Warren. Start taking this mill down here. Ploob is super farming up right now. And super heavy artillery. He's definitely expecting me to just try to owl him down. Now it's streaming artillery everywhere. Because I'm just going to completely abandon this base with my units. So I'm just going to let artillery wire handle everything. Of course, I probably should have put another layer of wire right here just to be safe. Since it's only 1 layer thick right here, which is not awesome, but whatever. So he sees my base and decides to put lizards, but unfortunately this is right as I'm coming down. putting on the wire. Go ahead and let out the first wave of mice. Trying to let my skunks get some gas down too. Now I just kite back into the wire. Yeah, he's just taking, like in the first match, like it was working for him, but the wire plus the skunk gas plus the mice, it's just too much like attritional damage for him to handle. Although now I am down to only one skunk, which is not great. And I actually do kill the cam there, along with some tier 1, so that was really nice. Skunk coming this way, which is good. Skunk going the wrong way. Skunk not the best. So yes, putting up more wire. I'm kind of running really low on eco, and this 4th Alvorn was really a bad idea. I should have not kept it, put it more into wire and farms. Now I decide to go after this mill. It does have a fox. So he actually does get a shot on one of my owls, which is super frustrating. Well, not really. Yeah, his fox is dying here, unfortunately. Kind of overextends. He should have waited a little bit, honestly. Kind of got over greedy there, since he cleaned up my mice pretty quickly, honestly. Definitely a big mistake with the fox. And he sells the fox, which is honestly a really big mistake. Now that I'm thinking about it, he should have like sold off these artillery or something, I don't know. But he should have kept the fox, because then he can chase down my owls much more effectively. Because with this lizard cam, Skrill is going to get treated too much by skunk gas and wire and mice spawning. Okay, so yeah, more wire. Skunk's a little bit late putting down gas, but it's whatever. Like, imagine if you had a fox here. Like, I don't have any mice really. Like, I mean, now I do since I did end up winning the fight. But during the first part of the fight, maybe he could have killed an owl. If I go down to 2 owls, that's really problematic. Like, I might lose the game problematic. And if he kills 2 owls, then obviously I just lose. Comes in again, but I have wire right here, so I can just sit in this. Oh, so I was actually going for my mill here, put me into starvation, which, I mean, that's not a bad idea, but I'm just gonna go take this mill and be fine. Oh, these 2 skunks are dying. Ploob's starving now. Mice cleaned up a lot of warrens. Okay, time for my game versus Meek. It was the final, so best of 5. I need to DM someone in Discord real quick, so. Okay, anyway, so I decided, well, I'm playing Ploob's deck. There's was some variety, and since it was much more effective than I was initially expecting when I first came across it. And I doubt Meek's expecting it, since I don't usually play these kind of decks. I actually pretty much never play Fox when I'm like playing competitively. Artillery is also an exceedingly rare pick for me. Pretty nice match, like good. Well, map, I mean. Actually, it's not the best map, because by the time our artillery creep to this mill, like, it's going to be fallow anyway. I had to go in, kill a Skrill, leave. Me getting skunks, but I have Squizzard Cam, so I don't really need to worry about a skunk push. Well, actually, I mean, I do skunk push against Squizzard all the time, and sometimes against Squizzard Cam, so maybe I do need to worry about it. But I have MGs and artillery. Well, I have MGs, so I don't need to worry about it, I should say. But 99% of people, I mean, Meek is good. Like, I'd be very wary of a 4 skunk push from him. But, like, if it's not a top premier player, like, players, they are not going to micro or position of skunks well enough against Wizard. Going up to 4 cams. I can't remember my, well, see, I can't really go as much into the Squizzard because he has 4 skunks, so I really want more cams here. Since, as you saw my game against, or in my games against Ploob, 2 cam Squizzard, not the best against 4 skunks. But when you get mass cams, man, they can really tear some stuff up. So. Meek selling the farms, going for a badger. So I meant to rally my cams to this mill, but it didn't occur to me that they would path this way because I just wasn't thinking about it. So Meek's faking an attack. So he ends up killing MG, which is annoying. And this entire time I have yet to scout the badger, which is not amazing. So, and I can't really scout for his base because of the snakes, but I'm kind of paranoid to move away. Try to go for some pigeon snipes there, but nothing happens. I'm paranoid he's gonna like snake my artillery mill down if I leave, so that's why I'm not really scouting. So this is kind of a fake out for me, from me, since he thinks I'm going around with the lizards, when then actually I'm just going over here. So yeah, kill some warrens. Or kill a warren. It doesn't matter a whole lot until units die. Right now, like, his army is still the same strength, so. Killing warrens doesn't matter till the opponent has to rebuild units or sell the warren for food. And look, oh boy, I come just as the badger comes out. Oh man, and I do manage to kill the badger. Thank God. I mean, yeah, it was 12 lizards, so that's 36 damage a second. Meek is actually starving right now, which is not. I think Meek, even if this push works, I think Meek loses the game. Oh no, he has a mill right here. Yeah, so he can probably sell and build in time. But Squizzard Cam, like, he's gonna have a hard time winning this fight if I'm set up with my split. So not perfect setup, but I mean, it's good enough. It's 4 cams, the artillery is also coming in. This time, I think Pigeonless Badger is actually really decent. I've only played like a couple games of it, but I think it's actually really decent. Especially in a deck like this. People say, oh, you can't play Pigeonless Badger, that's bad. I disagree. I have to do more testing though, but because pigeons are not good units. They are super not cost effective stats wise. So if you just get real units in your army, then it doesn't really matter that much if the badger dies since you have the rest of your army. And if the badger gets rubbed up, they'll like get their value back. Even if they die during the fight, like they can still easily get their value back. So it's still worth it. So then you have the rest of your army, so losing the badger doesn't mean you lose everything. Can't do anything. Buy a farm more from me. I'm pretty sure I do this every game, or almost every game. So now we played a fun game of going to second mill. So usually in situations like this, people tend to stay on tier 1 and go up to 8 farms on a second mill really quickly. So a really nice thing is look for a timing where you have 3 more skills or 3 more units. So I'm gonna have 12 units versus 9 units, 9 skills versus 6 skills. Honestly, I just win that fight super hard. So Toads are also really nice because they'll just destroy building farms. Say Meek has his army right here, you run the Toad into the army, then you also kill the building farms, which is really nice. So, but even with this per skill, it's nice to look for pushes like this. Maybe your opponent doesn't react in time, or they're really late on their warn. So obviously, yeah, this is kind of a disaster for me. Oh my god, he's getting cleaned up so damn hard. My commander dies, which is not awesome, since that's 100 food, 120 for the units at this side, which is actually humongous. That's like, I could have put down a badger or something without problem if I didn't lose those units. I mean, I still could, since I'm so ahead. But then Meek goes Boar Owl. And now we're about to see the biggest problem with this game's balance, which is that attacking is impossible since you can't sustain pressure and tier 3 comes out so quick. And 2, like, it's just way too hard to attack. Like in any other game, like if you're playing StarCraft and you lose like your 3rd command center, you don't start building like battle cruisers or some shit. Like, because you just lose. But in Tooth and Tail, yeah, that was horrible micro for me, by the way. I should have sent Toads after the Skunks and probably killed a Warren too. But in Tooth and Tail, like, you can have like 1,000 food deficit and be fine because it's impossible to attack in this game in time. Wait, how? What? Okay, so yeah. Commander does die again, but not killing that skunk is really annoying. Like, look, he's taking equal losses. Look at that last fight. Well, I killed a bunch of pigs and warrens, but the thing is, he's taking equal losses on this mill here, which is nice. So we're taking equal losses, but he can still build 2 tier 3 on less eco. Like, it's so ridiculous how overpowered defense is in this game. Because you have no time to attack. Like, the windows are so small, and you can't sustain a push either. By the time your units rebuild, like, I mean, they have their tier 3 out. It's ridiculous. I mean, I could have won this game if I just scouted and built a badger. But, I mean, you should win the game by default if your opponent is like has 1,000 food deficit like 4 minutes into the game. It's like going 2 base in StarCraft and going straight carriers or something, which only works if it doesn't get scouted. It's not something that holds if you actually get properly attacked. Same deck again, since I want to make it work. Me playing the QQ deck, or a very similar variant of the QQ deck. I can't remember if QQ specifically plays this. I think he usually plays Frills. Is that a lizard? But I might be wrong on that. Buy a farm from me. So yeah, I'm looking to try to break. Well, first I was just trying to push into him, but he's putting up MGs, so I can't push. Like, okay, that's 3 MGs. Let me just put down the Badger. since I'm thinking if I just go mass Skrill-Toad Badger, that's actually really nice against Lizard. And by now, he would have built Skrills if he did have Skrills in his deck, unless he was doing like some super crazy mind game. I see he has 3 Lizards, so I obviously know that he sold and built something, probably a tier 3 or like double tier 2 Warren. I'm like, whatever. Since I figure I'll just have a good enough comp to push through and win. The Badger plus tier 1. Well, like Skunk Snake would be. I would lose against Skunk Snake, but as long as he doesn't have that, I'm good. Or maybe I could win against Skunk Snake, actually. That's a really close fight, actually. So if he had Skunk Snake, Lizard defense, and I have Skrill-Toad Badger, there's like actually so many variables in that. But like including defenses. Like if his defenses go down, then he has no protection since he spent all his money on defenses. Then it's Skrill-Toad versus Lizard, which I get like maybe I can kill the skunks during the fight. There's so many ways it could go. Yeah, I don't bother expanding since he would just go like 8 farms on the second mill behind this. So like there's no reason for me to try to compete with that. But I also don't know if he's going tier 3. Like my only option is to push. So yeah, he's super reliant on his defenses here, and it's just at least 2 skills before the fight starts, which is annoying. But so yeah, I mean I clean up pretty nicely, but I have very few skills left. It's really kind of weird to micro this and let the Badger get hit. So I do let the Badger get hit there. He can take 1 more shot and still be alive. So it looks like Meek is just trying to keep his flocks alive and not accidentally overextend. Like, I think at some moments he was thinking about trying to focus the Badger, but I have so many skills up. It's like, yeah. And this is the other problem. Again, he only had 3 Warrens, so he had like no unit protection to screen for the Fox. Like he didn't have any Lizards coming out. Like he didn't have any damage except the Fox. And obviously my tier 1 protection is outpacing his Fox damage, so 1 HP Badger, let's go. For now, the score is 2-1 for me. Switching back the Ploob's deck. Meek running a pretty generic deck. You know, it's a relatively standard poor boar push deck. Skrill-Toad standard, Falcon Skunk Snake very standard. And there's the boar. Really kind of an awkward map. So here's where Meek plays a very dangerous game. He's doing an exposed Skrill start versus me going to Lizard start, plus he's going to Mill. But he does have the Cliff working in him, and he also has the Cabin working in his favor. But otherwise, if this is open terrain, he just automatically loses. Because I can just go in with the Lizards. Okay, he's building Toads, but these are such late Toads. I'd probably just go in with 8 Lizards and just kill all the Skrills. Yeah, let me think. So, if I start going across the map like right now... Well, actually, maybe I am wrong. Well, no, I don't think I am. Since if I go across the map right now... If it was open terrain and there's no cabin in the way, if it was close enough, then he has 6 Skrills and 1 Toad versus 8 Lizards. then I'll see 4 more lizards coming in like 10 seconds later. Like I can just focus fire down all his skills, and he doesn't have enough toads yet to do anything really. Then I just kill the warrens and win the game. So. But I decided that he has toads, like the terrain's too awkward for me to get there in time, so I just decided I can expand here and do artillery. So the MG goes up, and I just have such a nice fight here. Holy shit. Then he puts the warrens right here too, which is really nice. I kind of overextend here. I think. Well, it was kind of a hard call for me. I do end up killing the Warren. Okay, this is definitely overextending. I was trying to get the big. I was like, okay, yeah, let me pull out. I just got so much value. Then I kill 2 more pigs, and then he lets 2 toads explode on the lizard, so I get 40 more food there. Plus, he just has so much less eco right now. Go in again. Awkward terrain, no. So yeah, I actually lost a lot there. I did kill 2 farms, or 1 farm, I'm not sure. I think 2. Here comes artillery. I don't know. Okay, I put it this far back because toads will like insta-kill artillery. And toads do AoE, so if a toad hits the MG and artillery is next to the MG, the artillery also takes damage, which is not awesome. Nice mill kill there. Just doing a little bit of poke with a Skrill since I have the artillery covering me. Also have a fox building in the background. He's doing a pretty good job dancing though, so I wish artillery was closer, but yeah. Toads are scary. So now Meek goes around, and I should have just base raced here, but I thought he had, I didn't know he had so many units. I thought I could just kill his army here. So many skills, you just... Yeah, at least I am killing a bunch of his reinforcements, which is nice, but I just lost so many warrens. There's just so much food. It's like, ouch. Decided to sell the fox because I never scouted this. Like, look at this. There's water back there. There's terrain back there. Like, it's literally pixel perfect mill being hidden. Like, how do, like, I know there's water back there. I know there's, like, cliff. Like, how do you fit a mill back there? It's ridiculous. Down here on our mini-map, I should look this up. It's so stupid. Because the map's otherwise balanced. It's 2 mills for each person. Or 2 extra mills. Why would there be a 3rd one down here? It's so stupid. To put one down there. It's ridiculous, honestly. Yeah, I didn't really feel confident going Fox Eater since he had so many skills, but now I should have, obviously, since his army count got so low. So at this point, I'm scouting the rest of the map, and I just, since I knew he sold, so I assume he's going tier 3 now. Go ahead and kill this mill. I mean, he lost 3 tells for 6 lizards, but I ended up killing this mill in exchange, so whatever. Yeah, so I'm just doing tons of lizard harass here. Yeah, he has this fucking mill. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out how he isn't starving. I just assumed he built one of these farms, or he took a campfire. Since I can't see this part of the map, I just assume there's something hidden down here. Killing that mill again. More MGs since I'm anticipating a tier 3. But even his 2 cams, I think I would have won this fight, honestly. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out how he's getting so much units, since I'm like, wait, what? So I'm like desperately scouting the map. Yeah, I'm scouting this mill again, since I'm trying to figure out how he isn't starving. Then this happens, it's like... artillery is not getting good shots in. Yeah, if I had 2 cams, that would absorb all the toad hits and the boar flame for like a second or 2, and that would have been fine. Yeah, obviously very low board, but... like, this is such horrible maption. Like, why would there be a mill right here? It makes no sense to give this person an extra random mill down here. I'm gonna screenshot this and send it to Illuminatus. So yeah, then I scout it. Like, what the fuck? Game 5. Switching back to Ploob stack. Or, well, I'm not switching back, I'm staying with it. Because it is a very solid deck. He's going Wolf Owl, Lizard Snake, Hardwire MG. Very... Wolfed Owl is not unusual, but everything else out of this deck is very unusual. Well, Skunks is weird. Out of all the possible fortification combos between 2 of them, MG Wire is... like, the least used is Wire Mine, but MG Wire is probably the second least used. It's not really something you see. It's very, very, very strong against certain armies and decks, but generally you want utility from having another, like having the sniper balloon artillery or something, since this also just gets kind of countered by board all the same. So you want that extra flexibility instead of doubling down on being strong against a certain type of deck. So yeah, no, I saw he didn't have all his farms, so I actually thought he was going to be doing this mill against me. Then he goes back. Putting down Double Lizard for a counter attack, since he's either putting down his own units, which means he's behind an eco, or he's going 8 farm, or he's going eco, in which case I just kill him. Since right now he's behind both in terms of 60 food and in terms of just having stuff built. I do supply block myself, which is unfortunate. I decided to wait for 4 lizards, since 2 lizards aren't going to do anything. I see barbed wire, I'm like, okay. Now I go. Then he's trying to get his own wire up back here, but it's too late. If I had got here like 5 seconds earlier, I could have just gone in and killed his lizards since he only had 2 of them. But I see this, I'm like, I know I can kill his lizards and start killing pigs or a warren or something, probably in the game. But I don't know the timer on his units exactly, because if he comes out with 3 lizards and he has a bunch of pigs, that's not good. If he has 2 lizards, that's good. I just didn't know how long till the 3rd or 4th lizards were coming out, so I had to go back. Since I killed 40 food and wire, now I'm about to kill a mill, which is 100 food. So that's actually a really big lead this early, and he is going wire, and he's relying on wire, which is good since I'm going cams here. She'll just kill the wire. He's also probably not expecting cams, since historically I don't use them that much. in the mill. Just come out with a lizard snake. Pretty terrible composition, all things considered, lizard snake, but he has the fortifications to use it with. And the snakes just have so much utility, as do lizards, but in a straight up fight, they ooze against mill stacks. Decided to get my own mill in case this attack doesn't go super well and I want to be able to start farming up right away instead of raiding an extra 20 seconds. Put down an MG in case I have a lizard base trade. Maybe excessively cautious, but there's no reason to be floating food. Like, if I made a Warren instead of the MG, well, I mean, the lizards aren't going to be there in time for the fight anyway, so I could have put down farm cells. You can't make that argument. See, honestly, I just have a lot more army here. Lizards are really not good against 4 cams. And I have my own lizards, so I can't kite either. Like, ouch. Oh, didn't I kill? Okay, I don't kill a tier 2 Warren, but I do manage to do some damage. So, unfortunately, Commander reveals the chameleon and kills it, which is like, oh fuck. I mean, I just won so much, but that was still not awesome. So now, since Meek does this every single game he loses early, he's just going to put tier 3 in his face and hope for the best. Since this game is ridiculously defense favored, so that can actually work. I don't scout the tier 3. I mean, it's pointless. I know he's going tier 3. He's either going tier 3 or he's going, like, hidden mill. But you're not going to go hidden mill against lizards, so. Or even against cams. So yeah, he does have, he's setting up barbed wire and he has MGs, but I just have so much more material. Yeah, he's not gonna hold. He did miss macro though, because in that situation, you want your lizards to be in front of the MGs, since you don't want the MGs to die. You want the MGs to tank. Because if the MGs die, you can't rebuild them in the middle of a fight, but you can rebuild units in the middle of a fight. Yeah, that was kind of an anticlimactic ending to the series, but I won the finals, so the Pokemon kept beating me. I also won the one in the morning, too. But I got kind of lucky since Tatanka, who's really good, got knocked out by another player, so very surprisingly. So I kind of got like a free win, almost. The next Pokemon Cup, since just 3 per day, this one was much more challenging since, you know, I was fighting Meek and Ploob. Yeah, GG's.